welcome in. Today we are going to be very festive, as you can tell. For today's video, we're going to be playing a demo for a game called Merry Crisis, which I think has a little bit to do with Christmas. Honestly, I don't know. I kind of just assumed, but it's a little bit different than what I usually play on my channel. Merry Crisis is, I believe, a dating game for sure, but there is an overall plot. It's a casual, fun game. The summary for the game is 3 loves, 1 week, 0 chill. Merry Crisis is an intimate, character-driven romance visual novel about love, loss, and belonging. Is home what you left behind or where you're headed? The demo thrusts you right into the thick of action. That's true. This is a demo. Okay, that's right. So we'll probably enter into the thick of the story, like they said. So looking just at the main page, it's cute, it's simple, I like it. Oh wait, can I switch between? I guess I can switch a little bit between backgrounds. That's interesting. Are any of these me, or are these all love interests, or I wonder? Ooh, do we have voice acting? Voice volume. That's exciting. Okay, well, let's see how the Merry Crisis demo starts off. Player setup. First up, I am a woman. You were born female. There are 3 romanceable characters in the game, all of them gender selectable. Interest. Oh, all romanceable characters are women, all romanceable characters are men. Random selection, custom selection. I want to see what custom selection is. Oh, you can like literally go person by person. Wow, that's crazy that it's not just predetermined. Well, I'm gonna say all romanceable characters are men. For me. Prologue, the arrival. 22nd of December. Okay, yes, Christmassy vibes. You sprint down the street. You can hear running, that's cute. There had been an early sprinkling of snow 2 days ago, and the streets are still slippery with patches of black ice. Ooh. By the way, the colors are very nice. It's absolute madness to be running full tilt the way you are, but nobody bats an eye. New York City is full of people who are late to something or another. Oh, you're in New York City. It's a big city. It's around the holidays. We're gonna find love. Okay, one feature I already really like is that I can go forward and go back. I can skip, but like more importantly, I can go back if I accidentally click on something and I miss something, reading something. In your case, your flight to Singapore is in less than 4 hours, and you still need to grab your stuff from the apartment. I'm going to Singapore? Wait, we're not staying in New York, unless something goes wrong. Something probably goes wrong. Run like my life's on the line, or slow down enough to avoid falling flat on my face. I'm chill. I'm fine. We're slowing down. You figure that if you end up as roadkill, you definitely won't make it for Christmas dinner. That's exactly right, everybody. Be safe when you're traveling. Better to make it there in one piece than not at all. Your mother's already mad enough that you're visiting for only a week, so you don't want to know how she'd react if you don't come home at all. You were a yard from your apartment building when 2 very familiar hairy things burst out the front door and charged towards you. Woofs! Look at them! Look at the pups! I knew it was gonna be cute pups. They lead straight towards you, yapping noisily, knocking you off balance. Oh, so it didn't even matter that I slowed down because we got knocked off balance by dogs. You take a step back, right into a patch of ice. You flail frantically in the blind hope of catching a nearby railing. Whoa! Fortunately, someone catches your arm before you faceplant into the sidewalk. He's cute! It's Nat, your housemate. Oh, wait, they were roommates. Oh my gosh, look at this dog's sassy face. He's like, I got your man kind of face. His eyes are cute. I'm so sorry, Kehoe and Liz dashed out before I could clip their leashes on. That's not safe. I'll make sure they're secured. The dogs wag their tails and beam at you, completely unrepentant despite their role in your near-death experience. That's dramatic. I have 2 dogs. They're crazy. They're not that crazy. They don't go rushing at me like that. nor do they bark that much. Liz, the more exuberant of the two dogs, chucks a saliva-coated toy bone at you and waits expectantly. I'm never too busy to give the dogs a good pet. Yes. Technically I have no time to spare, but you've never been able to resist these two. You toss the toy bone for Liz, then give Kehoe a pat. That's right. He has such a nice smile. Liz scampers off, happily in search of the bone, and even Kehoe gives you an imperious bark of satisfaction. Nat smiles at you, gaze lingering. Even now, it seems Nat has not quite lost his easy affection for you. What do you mean? Do we have a history? We're roommates. This might be an opportune time to mention that Nat also happens to be your ex. Oh. How long did we date, though? 4 weeks ago. We broke up 4 weeks ago? And we still live together? I mean, because obviously you need time to find a new place. That'd be like really quick, but oh my god. The breakup had been amicable. Mature. You both simply had been moving in opposite directions, or so Nat had put it anyway. He broke up with me? Was he the one that initiated it? Why he looking at me affectionately then? You stand in the kitchen of your shared apartment, reeling from all that had been said and left unsaid. He should not look that happy then. The radiator hisses unevenly in the corner, working overtime to fill the silence. A half-drunk mug of tea sits between you, long since gone cold. You'd sensed that Nat hadn't been happy for a while now, but you hadn't realized that it had gotten this bad. Breakup bad. Is that a rice cooker? I love you, but we can't keep going on like this. Something sharp and desperate claws at your throat. Are you even happy with me? I'm not unhappy, just too busy and distracted. Truth is, you've been so busy with your own career that you stopped paying attention to what was happening between you and Nat. Perhaps in some ways you willfully refused to see the warning signs because you thought your relationship with Nat was too good to fail. The last 4 years with Nat had been some of the best years of your life. Stupidly, naively, you'd had genuinely expected those good times to last forever. Wow, 4 years then. Nat reaches over and takes your hands in his, smooth and warm and big-knuckled. It's a gesture that's so familiar it makes your heart ache. Ah. Can't we work this out? You don't want to end things like this. Can't we give this one last try? They still care about each other. It's just, we lost focus on our relationship. I do think there's a chance to go back if we still care about each other. Nat wavers. For a second you think maybe it's not too late to save this, but then he takes a deep breath and seems to steel his resolve. How many last chances have we given this? I don't know. I was there. You bite your lip and curl your fists. Your nails dig deep into your palms. You wish you could pull Nat in, hold him tight, and refuse to let go. Technically, you could do those things. Instead, you nod mutely and look away to hide your prickling eyes. Yeah, it seems like we've kind of just decided this is how it's going. A month after the breakup. You're still living with Nat in the same tiny apartment. You know the sooner you move out and move on with your life, the better. You've already packed your things into neatly labeled boxes, and you've been scouring websites for apartments to rent, but New York City rent is sky high. As a late 20-something-year-old without much savings to your name, there just aren't many options. The boxes continue sitting by the door, a reminder of the home you've built together. I want to be messy. I like Nat. I don't know who else we'll meet that's romanceable, but I'm interested in the storyline with him still. Unlike my belongings, my feelings have proven a lot harder to pack up and stow away. Truth is, you're still in love with Nat. You keep expecting to wake up curled around him in bed you once shared, hoping that these past weeks could just disappear like a fog on a cold autumn morning. But this is no bad dream you can simply wake up from. You try to remind yourself that this is for the best, that this is what Nat wants. Yeah, and unless we can change Nat's mind, it's what it is. But you see it in Nat's eyes sometimes, moments of weakness where he's unable to hide the way he still feels for you. And in those moments, you think maybe you haven't lost him completely yet, if you can just find the right things to say or do. Car honks loudly. Back to reality, okay. Or current day. The sound of traffic transports you back to the cold street, breath fogging in the December air. You realize that you've been standing on the sidewalk for at least a minute now. We're late! It's beginning to snow. Tiny snowflakes have begun to collect in Nat's hair. I'm not gonna touch him. Step back, establishing distance. You step back, putting enough distance between you and Nat to hopefully prevent yourself from doing anything rash. Yeah, I'm not just gonna reach out. We've broken up. It doesn't, however, stop the small ping in your heart from building to a dull ache. With Nat gazing at you like that, you can't help thinking of all the winter days you'd spent together, making angels in fresh snow and sipping hot chocolate by a window. Man, they're really, like, framing the long-term relationship, you know, comfort and love that you have, and then, like, you can't have those things again and you miss them. Like, oh, that sucks, man. You push the memories away. You're no longer 21, in love, and full of hope for the future. Okay, we're still in our 20s. Where did it all go? Already gone? The space between you seems to crackle, but the silence is a thick layer of hard-packed ice. It's Nat who breaks the silence first, setting Kehoe down next to him. So when's your flight home again? In about 3.5 hours. The change of expression worthy of a 60s sitcom. All the color bleeds out of Nat's face. What? Shit, need a lift? Nat's always looked out for you in more ways than one. Some things never change. I do love how they're still, like, amicable friends and everything. This option is crazy. How would I repay you? Do you want my firstborn child? I joke. No. What do you mean? We just got out of a relationship with this dude. How are you gonna say something like that? He's still friend. We still live together. I think it's okay to accept that. So I'm gonna give a hug and say thank you. You pull Nat into a hug, and Nat lets out a small sound of surprise, but a second later relaxes in your arms. You breathe deeply, inhaling a familiar scent of Nat. For a moment, you can almost pretend that nothing has changed between you. Okay, I didn't mean for this to linger so much. The thought brings a warm sting to your eyes, and you step back, blinking quickly. Thanks, Nat. I really appreciate it. Nat's expression is gentle, but you catch a flicker of something you can't quite decipher. It's no problem. What's the point of a holiday if you can't use it to save a friend? You can say friend. It's okay. Nat falters a little at this, but soldiers on. A housemate in a time of crisis. He's really just gonna call us roommates instead of friends, at least? Like, come on. The hesitation when Nat said, housemate, makes your heart constrict. En route to JFK. Ooh. Fun. Nat's one of the few New Yorkers you know who owns a set of wheels. You've spent countless weekends exploring the small towns along the Hudson River, hiking in nearby Catskills, going on road trips. You've been driving through a blizzard to Quebec, singing terrible pop songs at the top of your lungs, crunching through a whole bag of snacks when you first realized how in love with Nat you were. It was then that you thought you might have found your forever person. To be fair, he could have been our forever person. You just have to take care of a relationship no matter what. It's not going to take care of itself. So reading your mind, Nat turns to glance at you at the next stop sign. Since I just moved my camera, let's look really quick what these are. We got a journal here. Oh, okay, wait. I thought it was December 22nd. It's 24th? We got a character list. Oh, okay, and we got stats. Current flatmate and very recent ex. He might still be in love. Friendship, romance. Oh, and these are people we're gonna meet. Okay. Well, I'll wait to look at all the people as we meet them. Assuming that I meet them in the demo. But okay, that's the list of characters. Save, settings, skip, and back. Okay. What do you say when your family asks you what you're still doing in New York? You'd expected to return to Singapore after college, but you started dating Nat in senior year, so you'd found a way to stay a little longer. 1 year led to the next, and before you knew it, you spent nearly 3 years in New York after graduating. This first one is rough. I'm gonna say Singapore is where I grew up, but New York's starting to feel like home. Singapore is where you grew up, but it never quite felt like a life you'd chosen. In New York, with a million other transplants to the city, you feel a little lighter, free from expectations of what you should do, whom you should be. Nat never pushed you to settle in New York for good, but you've been considering it. At first, you'd stayed in New York because Nat was here, but as time passed, you've come to think of New York as home too. Even now, part of you still wants to stay in this city. I'm just not committing to anything. I don't know. Singapore's where my family is, but... You let out a long exhale and look out the window on the side of the car. There are pieces of Nat everywhere in New York. Restaurants and bodegas and parks and street corner markets that remind you of him, but perhaps you could reclaim each piece of the city if you had to. I built a life here too. Nat stares at you for a long time, curiosity mixed in with the pain. It'd be nice to still have you in the same city. The traffic light turns green again finally, and Nat starts the car up again. You watch the snow fall. In a couple of hours, the snow will turn into a nasty, squelchy mess. For now, though, it's beautiful. The sort of beauty that's made all the more precious because it won't last. After sliding into a spot at the airport drop-off area, Nat glances over at you. So, I'll see you when you get back? You nod, but make no move to reach for the door, despite the fact that you're already on the verge of missing the flight. Can't help but think of how many times he had driven you to the airport over the years, kissed you goodbye, and told you how much he missed you while you were gone. There's something soft and unguarded in his gaze that makes you want to lean in. Nat reaches across the center console and takes your hand. Your breath hitches in surprise. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your week back home. I am not gonna go in to kiss him. Which probably is what you have to do to pursue him, but I'm just like, I couldn't do that. Like, we broke up. It's what he wanted. I can't. That's just, oof. You squeeze your eyes shut and force yourself to take one big inhale and exhale before you turn back to Nat. Merry Christmas, Nat. You get out of the car, heart thudding in your chest. You've been a whisker away from a bad decision. That seemed so unserious to be like, a kiss for the road? One very long flight later. Yeah, to Singapore. And now it's December 24th. I think it was the 22nd when we left, and now it's the 24th. That makes sense. With the long flight and, going ahead in time zones. You wheel your luggage into the lift of your public housing block. The doors are about to clang shut when someone dashes toward you at full speed. Calmly press the door open button, yeah. With commendable composure under pressure, you reach out and press the open door button. But these old lifts have a mind of their own. The lift doors continue to close, but the person continues to rush forward. I swear I tried, dude. The lift doors clang shut around the boot. A second later, the doors jerk back open and the person strolls in, grinning at you. Thanks, didn't want to wait for the next lift. I didn't really get it. I'm sorry. You got it, though. Good job. Wait for you? Anything? Hello? Okay. Oh my gosh, you can be real flirty in this game, man. I haven't played a game like this for so long. I'll give a friendly smile. The person smiles back at you and steps into the lift. He reaches out to press the button for the 11th floor, the one you live on. You put two and two together. This must be Shay, your neighbor's new tenant. The one your mother complains about in every phone call, because he's got a guitar. He plays music, and she's like, oh, it's so loud all the time. There's such a noisy neighbor. The company he brings home, the late-night jamming sessions with his bandmates, the muddy mountain bike tracks he leaves in the corridor. You study the man in greater detail as the lift starts trundling upward. He's tall, wearing ripped black jeans and a sleeveless red tee that shows off Strong shoulders, defined muscles, tan, sun-kissed skin. There's a guitar case slung over his shoulder. I don't really love the way that his beard is drawn in, because it kind of seems like he can't grow a good one. But anyways, when you return your gaze to the man's eyes, you realize you've been caught staring. My bad. He winks at you. Like what you see? Okay. Yeah, no, that's not... I don't like that. His voice is low and playfully flirtatious, and you can definitely see why your mother disapproves. Sorry, I've just heard a lot about you. Shay, right? His eyebrows lift in surprise, then realization dawns. Ah, right. Your mother talks about you all the time. Complains about how I left home, no doubt. Shay's smile broadens, among other things. Your conversation is interrupted by a loud ding as the lift arrives on your floor. You step out of the lift into the corridor after Shay. Oh, pretty! You spent countless afternoons kicking a ball back and forth along this very corridor with your brother. How many times did we send a ball going over the freaking rail? You catalog the changes since the last time you've been back home for Lunar New Year. It's been more than 8 months since then, much to your mother's disapproval. For one, there's a new row of thriving plants extending from your family's unit to the one next door. Shay smiles at you and gestures down the corridor. Want to be introduced to the fam? You blink. A second later, you realize he's referring to his plants. Thank God. Sure, why not? Shay introduces each plant to you in loving detail. The finicky orchid, the indestructible ZZ plant, and the drama queen fiddle leaf fig. Finally, Shay waves at your family's sad bougainvillea that has been neglected for years. Hey, maybe you could give this poor soul some TLC while you're here. I'm only here for a week. Oh. Shay's face falls slightly, but he quickly recovers. Guys, today is not a reading day for me, obviously. Jesus. We'll make it count. See you around, neighbor. You continue on your way down the corridor to your unit. Yeah, he's not my type, that's for sure. He's nice and all, but... I'm home! Oh. Your mother rushes out of the kitchen to smack you on the arm. Oh, what? Why? You should have come back a week earlier, or stayed a week longer. 1 week, pathetic. Not even enough time to binge watch a K-drama. Yeah, it is. Second later, she pulls you into a brief hug. She's never been a particularly physically affectionate person, but she does hug you each time you come back home to visit. You return the embrace. In your arms, she feels smaller, thinner than you remember. Your dad comes running out from his room at the commotion. He, on the other hand, has grown quite a belly. There you are. Should have let us pick you up from the airport. No need to waste money on a taxi. He waves a hand at the containers on the table, beaming proudly. I got powed from your favorite stall at Red Hill Market. Your mother frowns accusatorily at you, taking in your ravenous expression. Sometimes I think you come back for the food more than us. Your dad shrugs. I'm happy as long as something works as bait. Where's Dee? He's out for lunch with a friend. Again. On Christmas Eve. Since my journal was updated. Takeaway... Oh, this is, stuff that... Okay, so Dapao is takeaway food. D is short for younger brother, and Mandarin, I figured as much. She makes apostrophe marks with her fingers at the word friend. And shares a meaningful glance with your father. You take this with a pinch of salt. Your mother has a habit of simply assuming things that she'd like to believe. You're unable to stop yourself from bitterly thinking about how your parents had done the opposite with Nat, continuing to refer to him as a flatmate months after you told them about your relationship. What the heck? What's up with that? You suppose it was easier than confronting the fact that you were dating a Black American instead of a Chinese Singaporean. Ooh. So, obviously whoever our brother is with is Chinese Singaporean. Is there some note? Okay, yeah. Shay, let's look at Shay. The two of you are on friendly terms. We got a little bit of friendship right there. Mom, the two of you have a decent relationship. Papa, decent relationship. There's my brother. Oh, Kehoe and Liz are on here. That's Terrier, who thinks he's king of the world. That's Border Collie, whose greatest obsession is fetch. Cute. Before you can sink further into these thoughts, the door swings open violently. Your younger brother tosses his socks by the gate and sachets over. What kind of shirt is that? Something smells amazing. Can I have some? No. Your mother rolls her eyes, mutters something about bottomless stomachs, and waves everyone over to the dining room. I'm blocking my brother's face, but you guys will see it in a second. I'm sure you'll see it. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna be close. Elbow my brother smirking. Mom thinks you were on a date. Your mom glares at you, betrayed, but your brother only laughs. Your mother's eyes light up with hope. So it's true? I can neither confirm nor deny. Brother plonks down in the seat next to you. Every time I see you, you look even older than I remember. Excuse? That's exactly how aging works, I guess. Genius. Sucks to be you. I'm the youngest in my family, so I don't usually get the brat treatment. At least I'm not the one getting dumber every year. That's darn right. The two of you grin at each other. You're not. You never admit it out loud, but it's good to see him. For the first couple of minutes, there's only the sound of utensil scraping as all four of you practically inhale the food. Yum. It's truly the best thing you've tasted in weeks, maybe months. Missed our food that fits, from our childhood. After the feeding frenzy has died down a little, the four of you start chatting. You've been close to your family growing up, but you drifted apart after moving to New York. So, how have you been? I'll tell them, whatever. You tell them about your job, the new hole-in-the-wall Chinese restaurant you discovered, and the latest dating disaster that has befallen Kenny, the son of an old family friend. Okay, but what about our relationship? We're not sharing that? It's almost as though you've never left. Once you've warmed up a little, you start talking more about yourself and how you've been. The conversation turns to Nat, and even though you had intended to tell them about the breakup, you can't bring yourself to in the end. Soon the food has been polished off. After lunch, you're in the kitchen with your mother helping to clear up. When you were younger, you resented the fact that your mother never really expected your brother and father to help with most of the cooking or cleaning. That's how I would feel. But it's for that reason that the kitchen had been one of the few quiet, intimate places that you shared with your mother, a sanctum of sorts. Now I'm really curious if I had chosen that I chose that I am a woman born female. If I had chosen the opposite, how would that change this entire part right here? I'm assuming. That's interesting. She's always been most comfortable talking to you about difficult topics amidst the cooking fumes and the sound of sizzling oil. Today, standing side by side at the sink, you can't help but feel a bit of that old closeness. Your father. She stops abruptly, waves her hand at you dismissively, changing tacks. Well, we're both not getting any younger. She's been saying this for years in an attempt to guilt trip you into returning to Singapore. But this time, something about her tone makes you think there might be more to it than she's letting on. Just as you're about to ask her what she means, she shakes her head and turns away. Your mother walks off to tie up the garbage into a plastic bag. When she returns, her expression has softened into a smile. It's good to have you back. I just wish you'd stay longer. Personally, the route that I would decide to go in this game, if it wasn't a demo, is staying in Singapore because me in real life, I like being close to my immediate family. So, if I want to play it that way, true to how I would pick something, then I could see that happening. But also, I don't know everything in my character's story, like our career. That's very important to know what's going on in New York. But I don't think that my relationship with Nat and any lingering feelings would be my deciding factor in whether I stay or not. It would be where I'm at with my career more so. It's good to have you back. I just wish you'd stay longer. You blink. It's classic behavior from her. Something almost tender, bundled up with a jab, and all to distract you from what she'd been about to say earlier. I missed you guys too. Your mother smiles, wavers a little bit, and she suddenly blurts, How Help me convince your father not to eat so much oily fried food, okay? You nod, about to follow up with another question, but your mother clamps her mouth shut, a clear signal that it's all she'll say on the matter. Obviously, something's wrong with our dad's health. Right as you head out of the kitchen to throw out the trash, your mom adds tentatively, "So, things with you and Nat are good?" You're not sure whether to be touched or horrified that she's finally recognizing your relationship with Nat now that it's finally over. 4 years? And that's the best that she's done? No. I'm gonna confront her about this. What do you care? You never liked him much anyways. You can't help it. There's a bitter taste in your mouth, and your neck feels hot. Instead of just not answering, you reach for something cutting. What do you care? You never liked Nat anyway. Your mother presses her lips together in one thin line. That's not true. Her voice trembles slightly, and it's clear she's willing herself to keep her composure. I just thought the two of you were very different, that's all. Well, it's not for her to think that, so... Boo. She looks down at the sink, not meeting your gaze. And I was scared that if the two of you got married, I'd lose you to New York forever. Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna keep arguing. Punch my jaw. Your mother doesn't seem eager for a fight, but the breakup's still too fresh, too raw for you, and your mother's statements are pressing all sorts of buttons. Different? How would you know? You barely even knew Nat. At this, your mother lifts her chin and stares at you, eyes fiery. That's not my fault, is it? You're all the way in New York, and you brought Nat home once in God knows how many years. How do you expect me to know him? Just curious, how many times has she come to visit me in New York, huh? They don't know how to hop on a plane? Doesn't seem fair to me. I'm not falling for it. I'm not getting guilt-tripped. Fake mother. The two of you stand there glaring at each other. Finally, you take the garbage bag and head out. Thank God. We're about to break out our fists, man. Just as you're rounding the corner to the shared rubbish chute, you bump into Shay. He's repotting one of his plants in the corridor, humming a little tune as he works. He pauses and looks up as you walk past. He brightens and gives you an enthusiastic wave, nearly flinging a couple of clods of mud at you in the process. I'm not talking to him. I don't really like him that much, so I don't really care, to be honest. You give Shay a wave in response, and then continue to the rubbish chute without stopping to chat. Also, I'm holding garbage, so yeah. A few hours later. Much to your parents' dismay, you're spending the evening at a reunion with your junior college classmates. Now, why are we doing this on Christmas Eve? Junie! Dude, people are going to be so excited to see you. It's been years. I stare at a picture of you on my phone once every couple of months so I don't forget what you look like. Thanks, Junie. The people that make this game must like cat shirts. You laugh. Junie has been your best friend for years, so you know just how dramatic she can be. That's creepy. Also, I haven't seen the rest for years, but I literally just video called you a month ago. The two of you continue strolling along the canal, which will take you all the way to the restaurant where you'll be meeting the rest of your classmates for dinner. At first, when you heard that Julie would be there too, you almost canceled, but Junie had been persuasive. It's been nearly a decade. I'm over Julie. Yeah. Shortly after things had gone to shit between you, you left for college in New York and you hadn't spoken to him since. Cool. Whatever. Sounds like old news then. Still, you'd like to believe that it's all water under the bridge now. Besides, you do want to see the rest of your classmates, and you'd be damned if you let Julie take that away from you. Junie raises an eyebrow at you. Maybe tonight's the night you two finally get over the bad blood between you. Enemies to lovers? You take a long breath. Your mind transports you back to the first day you met Jay. 8 years ago. It's always said it was 10 years ago. It's been more than 10 years and we're over him. You're at a party with Junie and her boyfriend Tech. Are they still together? At some point between the rowdy drinking games and chit-chat, you wander out to the pool alone for a bit of a breather. You get a couple of seconds of blissful solitude before someone else slips out the back door and joins you. I'm not impressed by my, like, first impression of him. This is, of course, when he's younger, but still. It's true, you've seen him around in school, but you've never been in the same class. Needed some peace and quiet? You laugh and raise an eyebrow at him pointedly. Ha Yeah, well, I'm not gonna get it now. From there, the conversation's momentum somehow sweeps you along with it. Throughout the conversation, Shui's eyes linger on yours. He's a good listener, and somehow, even though you've just met, it seems as though you've known each other for years. Time passes in a hazy blur, thick and viscous like honey dripping slowly from a jar. We must not have dated for very long, considering the timeline. People occasionally come in and out of the back door, but you've barely even noticed. For who knows how long, nothing pierces the bubble that forms around the two of you. Eventually, though, the party begins to empty out, and a few remaining people come streaming out of the house. Suddenly, there's a loud whoop, and the host dives headlong into the pool with a massive splash. A second later, everyone hoots and plunges in after him one by one. Cackling and cheering erupts from around you. All right, it seems like the madness is starting. I'm heading home. You? Yeah, I'm going. It doesn't look like we were ready to get into a pool, so yeah, let's go. At this point, I'm definitely more interested in continuing and talking to him. The two of you say your goodbyes to the rest and then walk out of the house together. You linger at the front gate. There are no stars, not that you can see anyway, but the sparkle in Chu's eyes is close enough. Okay, I didn't see it. Seems neither of you want to say goodbye just yet. The motion is so quick you're not sure if you imagined it, but you can just about swear you see Chu's eyes dip down to your lips. Oh, he blushing. Well, I'm gonna make a move. This is the time to make a move, right? But which one? Step closer. Remember, you're gonna kiss me or what? Or we just fully come it on him, press him up against the wall and kiss him. Oh gosh. I'm gonna do the first one. Your breath hitches as Shui closes the distance between you. One thing had led to another tonight, but you certainly hadn't expected it to lead to this. The kiss is bruising. Shui's hands come up to your hips and the world swirls all around you. When he finally pulls away, he's breathing hard, eyes still dark with desire. So, how are you getting home? Want to walk together? You smile, glad that Shui had found a way to make the night last just a little longer. Back to the present. It seems like definitely more of like a passionate love that just kind of probably fizzled out kind of quick or something, because whatever. That kiss was the first of many. Your feelings for Shui had rolled in like a massive thunderstorm, sweeping you up so quickly you never had the chance to question what you were doing. But now, in hindsight, the sweetness of sinking gently into that first relationship will always be tainted by the memory of how things had soured between you. You and Junie stop walking. She hasn't interrupted your reverie, but now she lays a hand on your shoulder and squeezes. Besides Nat, you've never told another person what happened between you and Shui. Maybe Junie guesses some part of it, though. That's interesting that we did tell Nat. But not Junie, our best friend. You're gonna be okay later if Shui shows up. Because if you like to bail on the class reunion, I know the best Burmese place down that way. Set your jaw and shake your head. It'll be fine. Let's go. The restaurant is all sleek black and white lines with dark mahogany. Let me guess, does he own this place? The space thrums with Christmas Eve energy, clinking glasses, bursts of laughter, murmur of low conversation. You scan the sleek interior until you spot familiar faces in a corner booth. Tech, your classmate and Junie's boyfriend, they are still together. Gives you both an enthusiastic wave and dashes over, pulling both you and Junie into a bear hug. You're heading towards the table with the two of them when the door swings open again. Something instinct, perhaps, or maybe just bad timing, makes you turn and look. He looks better now. I don't know if it's the hair or he looks better older than he did when we first met him. Chewie stands silhouetted in the doorway. The smile on your face freezes in place. Time slows. His eyes meet yours and all the air whooshes out of your lungs. His dark gaze is exactly how you remember it, turbulent, depthless, like shallow, and frustratingly unreadable. You let your eyes trace the hard, angular structure of his cheekbones and jaw to his tailored shirt and pants. It all speaks subtly of success and power and prestige, all the things his parents had always wished for, no, expected of him. Ooh, I wonder if that has something to do with why we broke up. You hear he's a public prosecutor now, and he certainly looks like the sort of person you wouldn't want to go up against in court. I don't know how fun that sounds, unless you like arguing if that's your thing, then you know. And yet, in the subtle softening of his eyes as he holds your gaze, you see traces of the Chiyo you once knew. You swallow thickly. You wonder if Chewie too imagined this moment in his dreams 100 times. Had he rehearsed 1,000 different lines to say to you after all these years? We are thinking about this too much. What if this dude has literally not thought about gave us a second thought? Probably has, because I mean, like, it's a game, it's a visual novel, romance visual novel. So probably has, but like me, I'd be like, I'm gonna completely put this person out of my mind. Slowly, Chewie lifts his chin and his lips curl up into an wry, almost cryptic smile. I was starting to think I'd never see you again. Me too. It's been a while. Motion surged beneath your placid surface as you stare at Chewie, the first person you've fallen in love with and the first person to break your heart. But you surprise yourself by giving absolutely nothing away. When you respond, your gaze is level. Me too. It's been a while. Your tone is cool. The only hint that you might be more affected than you let on is a tight, coiled feeling in your gut. Chewie presses his lips together and you see a vein in his neck pulse. It's been way too long. Like, what do you want me to be? Emotional about this? Like, why? Am I being too realistic, guys? This is genuinely just how I would feel. Chewie pushes a strand of hair out of his eyes. Where? You recognize the tick. He does it when he's nervous or uncertain. And there'd been a time when you found it impossibly endearing. Eventually, after chatting for a while, Chewie's gaze slides to the table where your classmates are seated. Watching the two of you with undisguised curiosity, he tilts a chin to the back's exit. We talk outside for a bit. I would hate this, guys. That's an awful joke. It's not even funny. Sure. Heart rate quickens and your throat goes so dry you don't trust yourself to speak. I would be like, oh, this is about to get really like cringe and ugh. Instead, you just nod wordlessly, already praying fervently that this isn't a terrible mistake. His expression takes on an unmistakable glimmer of hope. I'll let you talk to me because I just want to get it over with. You follow Chewie out the back door of a restaurant to the alley. The door swings shut behind you, shutting off all the noise. A crescent moon hangs over like a silver comma against the night sky, barely visible between the rooftops of old shop houses. Each back door is flanked by a motley arrangement of dented garbage cans, air-conditioned compressor boxes, and plastic chairs well worn from countless smoke breaks. Now, though, the alley is almost empty, save for lonely pigeons pecking around for invisible food scraps. For a while, the two of you stare each other down without speaking. Once, almost 10,000 miles of sea had stood between you and the past you fought so hard to leave behind. Now, Chewie's standing so close you can smell the familiar scent of his soap. You remember that? True to character, he hasn't changed it, even after all these years. You grit your teeth and step back, trying to render his proximity less overpowering. You don't want to be reminded of sweeter times, simpler times, times when touching Chewie, loving Chewie, had been as natural as breathing. Okay. We're outside. You ball your fists to stop your hands from shaking. What did you want to say? Chewie takes a deep breath and something shifts in his expression. Whatever had remained of his hard exterior crumbles to dust in front of you. I wanted to apologize for the way things ended. Didn't you have done this a long time ago? You blink, palms beginning to sweat. Your heart drops to the pit of your stomach. I'd be like, well, let's hear it. Back then, I assumed you'd always be in my life. I was 18 and stupid, and... He sucks in a breath. His gaze holds so much regret that your heart twists. I never stopped wondering if things might have turned out differently if I had asked you to stay all those years ago. He chokes out the words. Still my fluttering heart. Why are you telling me all this now? You've reached the end of the demo. Based on your choices in this playthrough, these scenes will be available in the upcoming extended demo. Oh, these based on my choices, these are snapshots of scenes that would be in the extended demo. Okay. That's his mom. She looked mad. Uncover what went down with Shui. And find out what he could possibly want to say to you now after all these years. Spend time with Nat and see if there's anything left to save. So Nat's all the way back in New York and we're in Singapore. How is this going on? Like, how are we gonna see him and like interact with him more? Have a follow-up conversation with your mother about what she said in the kitchen. Different choices might unlock other scenes in the extended demo. Attend Shay's Christmas performance and maybe spend the night together. No, thank you. The extended demo releases in spring 2026 and the full game in winter 2026, guys. Well, oh my gosh, I have not played a game like this in a long time. But I think it could be quite fun. I do wish, I mean, I have played like farming simulators and stuff like that, like Stardew Valley, right, where you can romance characters. I have done that, but like games where it's pretty much purely focused on romance, I have not played a game like that in forever. The most surprising thing about this game to me is that there's only 3 love interests. And honestly, even though, like, Nat's my favorite, because he just seems like such a sweetie, but like, he's also, we just broke up with him, so that's messy. But Shui, it's also messy with him because we had a really bad breakup, and I kind of don't believe that he changed that much. Maybe there's gonna be a whole story where he, you know, gives up. He fights his family really hard to be with you, and like it's like really triumphant character development. But I don't see it in him now that I'd be like, oh, I want him. And then Shay, he's just not my type. To be honest, that's it. But anyways, guys, if you didn't notice, if you didn't catch on, these are the different character models that they would use depending on your preferences for who you want to date. So this would be Shui instead, this would be Nat instead, this would be Shay instead. So if you guys are interested, you want a fun dating game, especially next year when the full one comes out and it's Christmas time, I would be very interested to see how this turns out, to be honest. But anyways, it was fun, it was different for me to check out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you want to see more from me, go check me out on Twitch in the meantime, guys. I'm live over there. See you in the next video. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, guys. Bye!